Today, we are diving into a very interesting story about Nigeria's former head of state, General Sani Abacha. There have been many arguments about how Nigeria's former leader, General Sani Abacha, died. He passed away on June 8, 1998, just as Nigeria was getting ready to change to a civilian government. Abacha was in power from 1993 to 1998, serving as the head of state and the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Nigeria. In September 1994, he made a law that puts his government above the courts, which gave him complete control. There's a story that another law allowed him to keep someone in jail without any charges for up to 3 months. He also cancelled a previous law from 1993. During his time in power, Abacha created a personal security team of 3,000 members, which he built with help from North Korea. His main security officer had a strong grip on the military and security forces. Because of this, the Nigerian police force was trained on a large scale. The government aggressively went after criminals and anyone who opposed them. The National Democratic Coalition was blamed for many explosions and several of its members were put in jail. You see, Sani Abacha was born on September 20, 1943 in Kano, Nigeria. He became a significant figure in Nigeria's military history, especially known for his rise to power through a coup. On November 17, 1993, he took control of the country in what was the last successful military coup in Nigeria. Before this, he held several important military positions, including Chief of Army Staff, Chief of Defense Staff, and Minister of Defense from 1985 to 1990. Remarkably, Abacha became the first Nigerian army officer to achieve the rank of a full military general without skipping any ranks. Abacha grew up in Kano, a city in northern Nigeria. He began his military training at the Mons Officer Cadet School in Aldershot, England. After completing his training at the Nigerian Military Training College in Kaduna, he was commissioned as an officer in 1963. Throughout his military career, Abacha was involved in many coups in Nigeria. One of the most notable was the counter-coup in July 1966, where he played a role even as a young officer. At that time, he was a second lieutenant, serving with the 3rd Battalion in Kaduna. He may have also been involved in earlier coup attempts in Lagos and Abeokuta. During the Nigerian Civil War in 1969, he served as both a platoon and a battalion commander, showing his leadership skills in challenging situations. By 1975, he had risen to the position of commander of the 2nd Infantry Division. In 1983, Abacha was promoted to the Supreme Military Council, where he held the 2nd Mechanized Division. He was a key player in the 1983 coup that brought General Muhammadu Buhari to power. Just 2 years later, in 1985, he was involved in another coup that removed Buhari from power and placed General Ibrahim Babangida in charge. Following this coup, Abacha was appointed Chief of Army Staff when Babangida became President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria. In 1990, he took on the role of Minister of Defense, further solidifying his influence in the military and government. Sani Abacha's life and career were marked by his military achievements and his role in Nigeria's political landscape during a time of significant change and turmoil. His rise to power and the positions he held made him a prominent figure in Nigeria's history. General Sani Abacha was the leader of Nigeria during a time when he wanted to reduce crime and corruption in the country. He took strong security measures, but these actions also affected many politicians in Nigeria. One of the most notable cases was that of Moshood Abiola. Abiola declared himself president and was later imprisoned for treason. Sadly, he died while in prison. Another important figure, Olusegun Obasanjo, who had previously been a military ruler, was also imprisoned for treason. He was accused of trying to organize a coup with General Oladipo Diya. General Shehu Yaradua was another political figure who was imprisoned during this time, and he died in prison in 1997. Abacha's government faced serious accusation of human rights violations. A significant event that drew international attention was the execution of Ken Saro-Wiwa, an activist from the Ogoni people. Saro-Wiwa and other activists protested against the Royal Dutch Shell Company, which was exploiting Nigeria's natural resources. His execution led to Nigeria being expelled from the Commonwealth nations, a group of countries that were once part of British Empire. While Saro-Wiwa was in prison, another prominent writer and activist, Wole Soyinka, was charged with treason. Many pro-democracy activists opposed Abacha's rule from outside the country. Despite the harsh political climate, there were some economic improvements during Abacha's presidency. Nigeria's foreign exchange reserves grew significantly, increasing from 494 million in 1993 to 9.6 billion by mid-1997. What a surplus. Additionally, the country's external debt decreased from 36 billion in 1993 to 27 billion by 1997. Abacha also invested in infrastructure, building between 25 and 100 kilometers of urban roads in major cities like Kano, Gusau, Benin, Puntua, Zaria, Enugu, Kaduna, Aba, Lagos, Lokoja, and Port Harcourt. During his time in power, Abacha stopped privatization projects that had been started by previous leader Ibrahim Babangida. He also managed to reduce the inflation rate from high of 54%, which he inherited from Ernest Shonekan, down to 8.5%. This was achieved even when the price of oil, Nigeria's main export, was only about $15 per barrel on average. However, it is important to note that while there was some economic growth, it was mostly limited to the oil sector. The overall growth rate of the country's economy was better than in 1995, but it was still only 2.2%. This shows that while there was some positive changes, many challenges remained for Nigerians during Abacha's rule. The Abacha plunder case is a significant event in Nigeria's history, marked by a mix of impressive economic achievements and a shocking level of corruption. During General Sani Abacha's time as president, there was a rapid increase in embezzlement that had been seen before in Nigeria. After Abacha's death, President Olusegun Obasanjo's government began investigating this corruption. One of the key figures accused in this case was Alhaji Ismail Agwazo, who served as Nigeria's national security advisor. He was said to have played a major role in stealing money and moving it to foreign bank accounts. Abacha's son, Mohammed Abacha, and his close friend Alhaji Mohammed M. Sada were also implicated in these activities. The details of this corruption were outlined in the preliminary report created by the transactional government, led by Abdulsalam Abubakar in November 1998. In a significant development, the United States Department of Justice announced on August 7, 2014 that it would return $480 million to the Nigerian government. This amount was the largest forfeiture in U.S. history related to corruption. The investigation revealed that more than $267 million in cash had been found in a bank account in Jersey, which is a British Crown dependency. This money was believed to have been laundered through the U.S. banking system. The U.S. Justice Department, the courts in Jersey, and the Nigerian government all agreed to forfeit this money, and it was decided that the funds would be shared among the three countries involved. This case highlights the ongoing issues of corruption in Nigeria and the efforts being made to recover stolen funds. General Sani Abacha, the former leader of Nigeria, died on June 8, 1998 at the Aso Rock Presidential Villa in Abuja. Following Muslim customs, he was buried on the same day without an autopsy. This quick burial led to many people speculating that he might have been assassinated. The official cause of death given by the authorities was a sudden heart attack. However, some foreign diplomats and analysts from the United States intelligence community believed that he was actually poisoned. Hamza al-Mustafa, who was Abacha's main security officer, claimed that Israeli operatives poisoned him while he was with Yasser Arafat, a well-known Palestinian leader. This claim added to the mystery surrounding Abacha's death. As a result of these different opinions, there are two main theories about how Abacha died. One is that he died of natural causes, and the other is that he was poisoned. Many people, including eyewitnesses and those who worked closely with him, have shared their own theories about what happened. After Abacha's death, the New York Times published a report suggesting that U.S. analysts believed he was poisoned while he was with 3 prostitutes. Just imagine. According to their report, these women poisoned him using an apple. However, this claim was disputed by the Nigerian press, which maintained that he died from a heart attack. The conflicting reports and theories about Abacha's death have led to ongoing debates and discussions, leaving many questions unanswered. about the true circumstances surrounding his passing. Al-Mustafa has said that the story about Abacha dying after eating an apple from sex workers is not true. He claims that Abacha was actually poisoned by Israeli agents while he was with Yasser Arafat, the leader of the Palestinian National Authority. According to Al-Mustafa, Abacha's health started to decline suddenly on Sunday, June 7, 1998, right after he shook hands with a security officer who was with Arafat at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja. Al-Mustafa noted that Abacha's condition changed quickly after that handshake. Lieutenant Colonel Abdallah, who was Abacha's personal aide, was responsible for watching over him closely. On the evening of June 7, 1998, around 6 p.m., Abacha's doctor, Sadiq Suleiman Wali, came to see him and gave him an injection to help him feel better. The doctor suggested that Abacha take a short break. However, Abacha was having trouble sleeping at night. On the morning of his death, he was still in his work clothes. Major Hamza Al-Mustafa learned about Abacha's worsening condition at 5 a.m. on Monday, June 8, 1998. After Al-Mustafa called him, Dr. Wali was taken to the villa using a secret route that only Abacha used. Dr. Wali felt that something was wrong. He injected Abacha twice, once in the heart and once near his neck. Sadly, there was no improvement. Abacha's body became very cold and he was foaming at the mouth. Dr. Wali quickly collected blood, urine and hair samples from Abacha to find out what caused his death. This action by Dr. Wali suggested that Abacha's death was not due to natural causes. After Abacha died, heavily armed soldiers surrounded his home and office in Abuja, the capital city. His family did not explain how he died. Instead, they followed the Muslim tradition and buried him within 24 hours. The government also did not officially announce his death. When the news of Abacha's death spread to other parts of Nigeria in the evening, many people, especially in Lagos, celebrated. They were excited and hopeful, thinking that this could be a chance for democracy to come back to the country, even though the military was still in control and did not want to give up power. This is the story of General Sani Abacha's life, career and controversial deaths. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more interesting stories. Remain blessed and bye for now. See you in the next video.